Kibbler Valley 2021.
And here we are back at the Kibbler Valley. P5 and I were joined by Adam Davis and Guy and Evan Spire. The level today is a little bit low, a 6,000 kilowatt release. There are purported experts in the area that say the water is unrunnable at this level, so we wanted to kind of give it a try and see what we thought. We did find the water to be a little bonier than normal, but plenty runnable, and we were looking for an option close to home we could get to and get back home in time for a big dinner, and this seemed to fit the bill. So off down the river we go, and I'll let you be the judge of whether or not you would want to paddle this river at 6,000 kilowatts.
Over here, Evan. Catch this eddy. Catch this eddy right here. Get in here, bud. Nice eddy. Try to get out of his way just a little bit. Fantastic. That was fun. All right, see the log? That thing will kill you.
And we were actually discussing how we were going to get around this log that is a river-wide strainer just below Basketball Falls here, when I realized that I had not recorded going through Basketball Falls until the very end. So I'm going to jump back out of the boat and run that again.
All right, now that that's done properly. All right, I'll give you the signal in just a second. If you have doubt, stay left.
So what I'm going to do is catch this eddy behind this big rock coming up, get out of the boat, and walk out into the current a little bit that's only about shin deep. And just be sure the team doesn't have any trouble with this must-make move over here in front of the log. And it's a good practice knowing there's something there that could potentially kill you, that you have to do things right. So I'll just kind of stand guard right there in the middle of the flow, so make sure that nothing crazy happens until we can get around this log safely. And even though there's not a lot of flow today, there is plenty of water going under that log to trap you underwater and pin you, and enough force there where you will probably not likely be able to get out on your own accord. So you need to take these situations very seriously. That is a death trap, even though the flow is not that great. And the crew is now safely around the hazard and waiting in the eddy below. And I will jump back in my boat here and join them. All of the bigger rapids were in play even at this low water level, and though it was a little bonier than we were used to, you can actually make a game out of finding the smoothest, fluffiest line, trying to avoid as many rocks as possible. And always at Kibbler Valley, the scenery is worth the drive. So as we popped down the river, I was watching the boys and couldn't help but notice how far they've come since last year this time. And this river has become one where they can go without any kind of nervousness and just kind of have a nice, relaxed paddle versus some of the bigger stuff they take on, and I guess it's kind of become their little home river. But Evan is really styling things lately, using correct form vertical paddle strokes and really just putting the style into his moves rather than just survive the river. And the little man has come a long way. And P5, of course, finished up last year with a flurry, taking on some big water. Wilson Creek Gorge, Tellico, Nolichucky Gorge, Upper Green, and really just did so well. And he's a little bit, I won't say bored on this run, but he's enjoying himself, but he's not challenged whatsoever anymore on this run. So we'll be starting to bring out the playboat and add that to what he's doing and really take his level up a notch, as well as Evan. And Evan is right there. I don't think he's hit a combat roll yet, but he can roll pretty well, and that is definitely coming. And there's some fun little moves on this river like this one. And you can just practice darting in the one spot that doesn't have a rock or trying to zip through there and catch an eddy. Just make the most of it even if the water's low. And you see Evan working on his eddies there. One thing Evan isn't doing really strongly is placing a downside forward stroke as he busts through the eddy line. But his approach to that, his speed, and his defect stroke or his pivot stroke inside the eddy is fantastic. And I actually got to brag on the little man right here. Watch this eddy by Evan. That's highlight reel stuff, so let's take another look. Look at that. And a vertical paddle at the end. Looking great. And Evan working on correct form and all that. That's just indicative of him being super comfortable on this run versus trying to survive it. And you'll know right off if you're looking at someone who's not comfortable, they're very stiff, they're not doing the extra strokes in the correct form, they kind of revert to a kind of a survival fladdle. And I'm happy to see Evan is just popping down this river in style. And I'm looking forward to that first combat roll, looking forward to his first waterfall, and I think we're going to have an amazing season this year. In fact, at the last pool session over the winter we went to, both P5 and Evan brought their playboats, and P5 was getting bow stall initiations as well as stern stall or stern squirts, and he was getting about halfway there on both of them. So as the weather warms, we're going to be looking to add a little playboating to their repertoire, maybe get a few little tricks in, and really have fun at the beach this year. But just for now, it's just a pleasure to watch these young men ace this river, gliding down effortlessly like they're eating cereal looking at a cereal box. It's just absolutely the best to be out there paddling with these two young men. And as you watch Pete coming up to this one boulder here, everything's instinctual now as he caroms off this boulder and just adjusts his hips and his edging so that there's no wiggles, there's no wobbles, there's no bracing. Everything was corrected with edge control and without having to think about it. And it really takes a situation that would flip a new boater, and now he's running into that same situation and he doesn't even realize it's happened. And those are the little nuances I'm really encouraged by in any paddler, but especially Pete and Evan. They're just getting it and things are not having to be thought about. But he will think about this one, Pete's first paddle toss. Perfect toss, a little bad on the grab, and then he misses his paddle, which gets stuck in an eddy. And then my go. Oh yeah, nothing better than a good paddle toss. And then Evan, first paddle toss. Oh, that's, let's see a replay. Well, you got to give him credit. He went for it, and I'm sure he'll get it next time. Paddle toss can be harder than it looks, and it is one of those vital skills that every paddler must master. So if you're out there on a river, consider giving the paddle toss a try. So I tossed Petey his paddle, and now that everything's in control, Adam Davis with his paddle toss, like a pro. That just leaves Guy Spire. He's a little bit back there, but if you concentrate, yes, perfect. And on down the river we go.
Catch it, Eddie, Pedro! Hey. Far left here is the best flow. All the way left, yeah. That's the all the way part, Guy. All the way left, like this, look, no rocks.
Oh my gosh! I thought it floats better.
Watch the trees, guy. Sorry. Wait for him to clear out. Come on back in the eddy. I want you to surf that wave he's in.
And while it wasn't the most exciting run we've ever done, and yes, the water was a little lower than we'd like it, it was still a fantastic day on the river here in Kibbler Valley on the Dan River. And every paddler will start making their own list of minimum and maximum water levels for both enjoyability and for safety on every river. However, leading up to this run, there has been some debate, some statements put forward by some that it was not possible to paddle the river at 6,000. And so we kind of wanted to go out there and put that to rest. And if you actually want to see this run much, much lower, we actually did that on accident this summer. When we got there, it was running. And by the time we put on, they had cut off the water to a very minimal flow of 1,500 kilowatts. And we thought we could catch up with the bubble and did not. So yes, we knew you could run it lower, but the point of this video was to just enjoy an afternoon on the water and show that you can run it at 6,000 and still enjoy it. So it was the perfect day on a perfect river, just enough time to jump in the truck and head home for Grandma's 89th birthday. And for Pete, that's great, Grandma.
Good stuff back there, guys. How'd you like it, Pete? Right on. Evan, you did amazing.
Thanks.
How was the first lap in the Alpha without swimming?
Out! All of you out! Just out!
Bad idea.
Out!
Oh man. Get me out of here.
Not the right question.